Hi! If you watched the video about the past tense, you know that you can make the past tense of a verb by adding ed. For example, last year I lived in Florida. To live is an example of a regular verb. Regular means that there is a rule for making the past tense. The rule is that you always add ed. Let's look at some examples. Yesterday I walked to school. Yesterday he passed his exams. But there are a lot of verbs that are not regular. We call those verbs irregular verbs. You cannot make the past tense simply by adding ed. Let me give you some examples. First, I will use the verb in the present tense, and then I will show you the past tense. I often go shopping. This sentence is in the present tense. Yesterday, I went shopping. Went is the past tense of go. Go is an example of an irregular verb. If go were a regular verb, you would say goed, but that is wrong. Here is another example. I give my mother a present. I gave my mother a present. Gave is the past tense of give. So again, we don't say gived, but gave. For some verbs, the past tense is spelt the same as the present tense. For example, I always read before I go to bed. My friend read the book last year. Did you notice that the spelling is the same, but you say the word differently? Read and read. Yes, red sounds exactly the same as the colour red. As you can see, there is no rule for making the past tense of irregular verbs. That is why you need to remember all of them. In English, we call that learning them by heart. When you see a list of irregular verbs, you often see 3 columns like this here. The first column is either the infinitive or the base form. The infinitive is with to and the base form is without to. The second column is the form which you use with the past simple tense. For example, yesterday I went to school. Check out the video on the past simple to learn more about that. The third column is what we call the past participle. This form is used with the present perfect tenses. For example, I have been at school all day. You can find out more about the present perfect by watching those videos. Of course, there might be a fourth column with a translation into your own language. You can find a list with the most important irregular verbs in the grammar sheet. So learn those verbs and try to do the exercises. It really is very important that you learn all the irregular verbs. Good luck!